Hello, this is Dr. Dan Quinlan speaking to you again from the Fulton County Veterinary Clinic in Rochester, Indiana. What we're going to be discussing today is parasites. We have many different types of parasites. We have internal parasites, we have external parasites. All of these parasites that we have to be very careful of because they are zoonotic. Zoonotic means that you and me can pick them up. So it's very imperative that we go ahead and keep our animals parasite free. The first thing that we want to talk about is intestinal parasites. Intestinal parasites are the ones that reside in our GI tract. We have many different kinds of parasites that can cause many different types of problems. To go ahead and really know what we're dealing with, it's very important that we go ahead and have at least a yearly fecal check. What the fecal check does is go ahead and give us an idea of what we are dealing with, because there's many different types of dewormers that we have to use in order to clear these parasites up. A lot of our babies will go ahead and be born with different parasites. They also will get them from nursing the mother. So approximately 75% of our neonates will go ahead and have a parasite problem. So that's why we just automatically deworm them. One deworming does not get the job done. We have to do multiple dewormings, and then we'd like to recheck the fecal after we get done with the deworming to make sure that we have cleared them up. Some of the different ones that we can have is roundworms. Roundworms are passed through the milk and also in vitro. In other words, when the mother is carrying the babies, they can be passed across the placenta. So a lot of times our puppies and kittens are born with this. This is also the one that the human women have to be careful of because it causes toxoplasmosis. Toxoplasmosis is where these migrate and they can go into the unborn child. Most of them have an affinity or they love the eye, so they end up there. So it's very important that if you are pregnant, the majority of our people do have titers against this, so you're probably safe, but in order to err on the side of caution, pregnant women should not go ahead and clean kitty litter boxes. They should go ahead and have somebody else in the household go ahead and do that. The other thing is we can have hookworms and whipworms. Hookworms go ahead and what they do, they attach to the lining of the intestine, they suck blood. And that way I can become very anemic, especially in a puppy. So we have to be very careful with that. The other one that we have is whipworm. Whipworm goes ahead and causes a scarring in our intestine, so we are not able to go ahead and pick up the nutrients that we're generally capable of doing. So a lot of times we'll see a puppy or a kitty come in that has what we call a pot belly. That has to do with the parasites. So it's very important that we go ahead and that we deworm these kitties and dogs. The other thing that we have what we call a coccidiosis. A coccidiosis is an otocyst that is an environmental contaminant, and what I mean by that is it's in our ground, it's around our premises where we can go ahead and pick it up. It's passed by bird droppings, rabbit droppings, things on that order. It causes a bloody diarrhea where we have soft, watery stool. And the only way that we can go ahead and tell whether one of our furry friends has this is if we go ahead and run a stool check on them. Our stool checks are sent to a laboratory where they go ahead and they centrifuge them all down. They do a very good job of going ahead and picking these other ones up. Now the other one that we have some problems with is what we call Giardia. Giardia is a protozoan. That's like you and me going down to Mexico and getting a dysentery. So it's passed by stagnant water. We can also pick it up from our stool. That's another one that we have to go ahead and send the fecal sample in order for that to go ahead and get taken care of.
Those parasites look pretty creepy. Which brings up our next trivia question. Truth or fiction? If I don't see any parasites in my pet's stool, then my pet is parasite-free. Think you know the answer to that one? Stick around. It's coming up. Now, back to Dr. Quinlan.
We have another really devastating parasite that is called heartworm. Heartworm resides in the right side of the heart. It has to be passed through the mosquito. One dog cannot pass it to another dog. It has to incubate in the mosquito. Mosquito goes ahead and in turn bites a healthy dog, deposits the larva into the healthy dog, and it takes approximately 5.5 to 6 months from the time that dog or kitten or cat has been bitten before we can really see any problems or pick it up and know that we have a problem, because it is in the right side of the heart. It affects the heart, it affects the lungs, so it's very important that we can go ahead and prevent this devastating disease. Heartworm prevention needs to be given monthly. The reason that it needs to be given monthly is because it works retroactive. In other words, retroactive means backwards. Heartworm prevention is not that expensive. Heartworm treatment is. They can be treated for it. Now with our cats, we cannot treat heartworm disease because our cats will die if we go ahead and try to treat them. So therefore, it's very important that we use a heartworm prevention, which is generally a topical one. We have some chewable ones, but the topical seems to work a little easier as far as going ahead and preventing the heartworm in our cats. So that's why we recommend that we keep them on year-round rather than taking them off in the winter when you don't see any mosquitoes. But guess what? We have mosquitoes in our house, in our basement and stuff like that. Only takes one bite, just one bite of these mosquitoes that are carrying it, where we can get the heartworm.
So let's see how you did. Truth or fiction? If I don't see any parasites in my pet's stool, then my pet is parasite-free. The answer is fiction. Dr. Quinlan tells us why.
That is an incorrect statement. The misnomer is when people think that they can see these parasites in the fecal material. There's only two kinds that you can really see. That is the roundworm, that looks like long spaghetti, and also the tapeworm, which is segmented. We have multiple other intestinal parasites that we cannot see. That is why it's imperative that we go ahead and get a stool sample so we can check for these other intestinal parasites.
This is Holly. Holly is a domestic long-haired cat. She is roughly 10 months old. She's been with us since, or for over a month now, and her adoption fee has been sponsored by a citizen of Rochester. This is Beatrice. Beatrice is an adult tortoiseshell. She is very soft and cuddly, looking for a place of her own. This is Zazu. Zazu is a domestic short hair. He is roughly about 8 to 10 months old, very playful, would make a great addition to any family's home. This is Gemini. She is a domestic long hair, very social, likes to be around other people, and does very well with other animals. This is Cosmo and Olive. They're babies, about ready for a new home. Very social, does well with, we've introduced them to dogs and other cats, and they'd make a great family companion for someone. Winnie is a terrier blend, about a year old. She is very social with dogs and cats and children. She'd make a great dog for small space living, like an apartment. So come on in and take a look at her. Boulder is a 1-year-old beagle. He is housebroken, does great with other dogs, cats, and children. Just looking for a couch to lay on and be somebody's fishing buddy this summer. This is Sis. Sis is a pointer blend, roughly 2 years old. She does okay with other dogs. She would make a good hunting dog for anyone, as well as a good family companion. This is Chevy. Chevy was a rescue out of Michigan. Came to us very thin, very withdrawn, but now he's done very well and does good with other dogs when properly introduced, and loves kids. He is looking for that forever home. This is our baby girl, Deja. She has been with us for about 2 months. We've worked diligently on her social skills, letting her know that, you know, there are good people to be good to her. She is looking for a home that's non-chaotic, preferably without small children. She is a very loyal dog and would make a wonderful pet for that right person out there. This is our beloved Bub. Bub is a boxer lab blend, very well behaved, knows basic commands. He is fully housebroken, does very well with other dogs, loves water and to run and play. Children can be his best buddy. He's in search of a big yard with a nice family to cuddle with and to play with.